2. Hurricanes. Main ideas. Weather is all the conditions of the atmosphere: temperature, air pressure, humidity, wind speed, and wind direction at a particular place and time. Hurricanes are powerful windstorms that develop over the Atlantic Ocean and move northwest. A hurricane is powered by evaporation and heat. What is extreme weather? In August 2005, Hurricane Katrina hit the city of New Orleans, Louisiana, and left most of the city underwater. The people of New Orleans had always feared a storm would flood their city, so they had built a system of levees designed to keep ocean water out. Hurricane Katrina, the sixth strongest hurricane ever recorded, broke the flood walls protecting New Orleans. People living near the levees heard loud explosions as the water began to pour in. No one was supposed to be at home when Hurricane Katrina arrived. The mayor of New Orleans had ordered a mandatory evacuation of the city. He called Katrina the storm most of us have feared. For people who were too sick or elderly to leave town, the mayor set up a temporary shelter at the city's sports stadium. But many people who had survived had hurricanes before decided not to leave. As the water levels rose, the only place they could go was to the roofs of their homes. Rescue teams tried to save as many people as possible, but at least 1,200 people lost their lives in the hurricane. Katrina is known as the deadliest hurricane in United States history. In the end, Katrina caused an estimated $75 billion in damages. People who survived came back to find their houses flattened and all of their belongings washed away. The levee system has been built stronger since 2005, but New Orleans will always be a natural target for hurricanes. How do hurricanes form? Hurricanes spread heat from the equator to cooler parts of the planet. They begin when ocean water is hot enough to quickly evaporate into water vapor and condense into large clouds. The clouds join together to form a tropical depression, a storm system with heavy rain and winds at 61 kilometers per hour or less. The winds increase until the depression becomes a tropical storm, which has strong thunderstorms and sustained winds of 62 to 118 kilometers per hour. If a tropical storm picks up more water vapor and heat energy, it becomes a hurricane. Hurricanes can grow more than 800 kilometers wide, with winds more than 252 kilometers per hour. When a hurricane reaches land or cool water, it weakens because it has no more water or heat to fuel its growth. The Saffir-Simpson hurricane wind scale describes how much damage a hurricane can cause as it develops. The scale classifies hurricanes by wind speed from a dangerous Category 1 to a destructive Category 5. Category 5 hurricanes only form about once a year. Tropical depression. A storm system with heavy rains and winds, 62 or less. Tropical storm. A storm system with strong thunderstorms and sustained winds, 63 to 118. Category 1. Very fast winds that produce minimal damage from flying debris, 119 to 153. Category 2. Extremely fast winds that cause moderate damage from flying debris, 154 to 177. Category 3. Wind that causes major damage, including window blowout, 178 to 208. Category 4. Winds that cause extensive damage, roofs and walls collapse, 209 to 251. Category 5. catastrophic winds and home destruction, 252 or greater. What are the parts of a hurricane? The eye is the center of the hurricane. Inside the eye, the air is calm, the skies are clear, and the rain has stopped. The eye may be 20 to 50 kilometers wide. When the hurricane eye passes over, it seems like the storm is over. The deadliest part of the hurricane surrounds the peaceful eye. The eye wall is a circle of high winds and powerful thunderstorms that separate the eye from the rest of the hurricane. The winds travel in many different directions, giving hurricanes their spiral shape. Water vapor is carried through the eye and over the eye wall to form thunderclouds called spiral rain bands. These thunderclouds look like spokes of a wheel and can be 80 to 500 kilometers long. How is weather measured? The following weather terms are used to describe the conditions of the atmosphere in a particular place at a particular time, and can be used to describe the state of the atmosphere during a hurricane. Temperature is a measure of heat energy. Most heat energy on Earth comes from the sun. Temperature is measured in degrees Celsius. Humidity is a measure of the amount of water vapor in the air compared to how much water vapor the air can hold. A 0% relative humidity means that there is no water vapor in the air. When relative humidity is 100%, the atmosphere is full of water vapor and some is released in the form of precipitation, rain, sleet, hail, or snow. Air pressure is a measure of the force of air's weight on Earth's surface. At sea level, there are so many air particles in the atmosphere that they are pushing down about 1 kilogram on every square centimeter of surface. Low air pressure brings clouds, and high air pressure brings sunny weather. Wind speed is a measure of how fast wind is moving. It helps describe how fast a storm is approaching. Wind speed is measured in kilometers per hour. Wind direction is the direction wind blows, north, south, east, or west. In the know, weather instruments. Weather information is collected to compare present weather to past climate and to predict changes in the atmosphere. Below are common weather instruments. Barometer measures air pressure. Rain gauge measures precipitation. Thermometer measures temperature. Anemometer measures wind speed. Hygrometer measures humidity. Weather vane indicates wind direction. This is a hurricanes activity that we will do together in class. Please turn the page. Section 2. Try this on your own. Optional extra credit. Measure. Scientists take temperature information in degrees Celsius, but most weather reports in the U.S. describe temperature in Fahrenheit. Learn the difference between the two scales and practice taking temperature measurements using both. Communicate. Create a safety plan about what to do if you are ever forced to evacuate due to an extreme weather event. Decide how much food, water, and equipment to bring with you. Identify a place where you and your family can stay during the event, and a backup plan in case you get separated. Question. Scientists say that hurricanes are going to become more powerful over the next few decades. How can scientists predict the strength of hurricanes that have not happened yet? Observe. Keep a daily weather log of the conditions outside your home or school. Find patterns in temperature, precipitation, air pressure, humidity, wind speed, and wind direction. For example, does it seem to rain more after warm days? Is it always sunny on Fridays? Glossary. 1. Climate. The average weather over a span of 30 years. 2. The region of calm weather in the center of a tropical storm system about which the winds rotate, bordered by a circle of thunderstorms and fast winds called the eye wall. 3. Hurricane. A storm system with strong thunderstorms and sustained winds of 119 to more than 252 kilometers per hour. 4. Spiral rain bands. The spoke-like thunderclouds that surround and wrap around the eye of a storm system. 5. Tropical depression. A storm system with heavy rain and winds that blow 61 kilometers per hour or less. 6. Tropical storm. A storm system with strong thunderstorms and sustained winds of 62 to 118 kilometers per hour. 7. Water cycle. The circulation of water from the oceans to the atmosphere and back to the surface has 4 steps: evaporation, condensation, precipitation, collection. 8. Weather. The conditions of the atmosphere: temperature, humidity, wind speed, wind direction, air pressure, and precipitation in a particular place at a particular time.